Hi everyone. My name is Afridi bin Muhammad Darki, and I am volunteer to my group. Okay, so I'm entitled Economic Growth and Public Welfare. So, objective of the study is the article investigates whether welfare system can continues to function effectively in economies they are no longer growing. Okay, traditionally, welfare previously are tied closely to GDP growth, but the study challenges these assumptions. It's aimed to explore the both of the challenges and possibilities of mental welfare without relying on the continuous economy's expansions. So for the research, contributes to ongoing um, discussions about sustainable development, post-growth economics, and social justice in an age of ecological and economic constraints. So we move to the other parts is methodology. So the author employed the qualitative approach by the reviewing a wide range of secondary data, and include the government's reports, peer review journal article, and policy document. So their analysis identified key gap between theoretical framework and real world policy practice. This method allow the author to highlight the strategical challenge of the welfare state in a non-growth context, and to suggest the practical alternative growth context based on interdisciplinary insight. Okay, teams were drawn through context analysis, um, and interpret interpret across multiple disciplines, including economics, politics, and sustainable studies. So we move to literature review. So the article provide an extensive review of academic works across several fields, especially for economics, politicals, science, and ecological studies. It also highlight that welfare system based on economics grow are increasingly uh, unsustainable unsustainable due to fiscal constraints, ecological limits, and changing demographics. The author also identified five critical dilemmas facing goal dependence, welfare system. So for the first is fiscal dilemma. Public revenue decline without a growth, limiting fund for the welfare. So we move to the second, employment dilemma. Job and income are often tied to economic expansion. So for the third point is equity dilemma. Growth doesn't guarantee fair well distribution. Okay, so for we move to the another point is political dilemma. Public and politic will is often growth focus. Other point is ecological dilemma. Economic growth drive environmental degradation. Okay, so the article also present the alternative model. For example, is universal basic income (UBI). Okay, to ensure the income security. So for the second is work time reduction and distributes employment more fairly. Okay, for the workers. Okay, so Another point is progressive taxations. Two, redistributed wealth. And the last is degrow inspire policies to support the environmental and the social goals without GDP growth. So, what the key issue discussion? So, several pressing concerns are raised by the author. So, for the first is funding welfare. In no growth economies, the study show how the austerities responding during the economic downturns, such as after 2008 financial crisis, lead to serious social harms, include the increase the mortality in the UK's. So without the economic growth, government struggle to fund service unless strategic reform are made. Okay. So for the second is rising cost of welfare. Welfare spending, particularly healthcare, is growing faster than GDP across OECD countries. So, for example, the COVID-19 pandemic further acceleration the trends, making current model of funding unsustainable in the long term. So for the third is environmental limitation. The ecological damage caused the endless growth, like the climate change, resource depletions, and biodiversity loss, show the current models incompatible with planetary boundaries. Welfare must re-emerge in a way that does not worsen environmental crisis. So, the other issue is economic shocks, and certainly the pandemic reveals that growth is not a guarantee and can halt suddenly. Threateningly, public welfare fundings, the raise the need for resilience system not dependent on volatile market. So aging population also increased life expectancy means higher demands for the pensions and healthcare. The demographic shift creates stress on welfare systems, especially in high income countries. Okay, so the other point is social injustice. Economies grow does not always reduce inequality. In many cases, it worsens. Therefore, a new social justice framework is needed to promote fairness and inclusion, especially for marginalized groups. So we move to another subtopic is finding. The author argued that modern welfare states are fundamentally built on the assumptions of economic growth. However, this model is increasingly viable in a face environmental on a social realities. A new paradigm is proposed once that's move away from casing GDP, instead embrace. So for the sufficiency meeting needs without excess. So for the second is equity fair distributions of wealth and resources. For resilience, creating system that can withstand crisis. So the study suggests that well-being does not have to depend on consumerism or rising incomes. Instead, It can come from the strong public service, environmental health, and community-based care. So we move to the last is a suggestions to adapt welfare system for a non-growing economies. The article recommend redefine the process, moving away from GDP and adopting broader indicator like the well-being index or genuine process progress indicator GPI. This includes a quality of life and ecological sustainability. So reforming institutions, uh, restructuring healthcare, education, and social service to function effectively in a stable economy, not one relies on constant expansions. So another suggestion is public awareness, starting national to and global conversation about the limit of growth and promoting a visions of a prosperity that is human centered and environmental conscious. So for the last suggestion, for this new model will shift our understanding of success from economic quantity to human and ecological quantity, ensure that welfare system are fair and sustainable and future ready. So this all for me. Thank you to be the good listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.